Hello, my friends. Hello. Okay, today I thought I would talk about tune-up races because these are a really, really important part of training for a big race, especially a marathon or a half marathon. But it's something that you don't really hear too much discussed. You see it on the schedule, but what does that really mean? So I thought I'd kind of talk about what exactly a tune-up is, how you can do it, and if you don't have access to a race, how you can do it kind of as a simulation with kind of as a time trial. So there's a lot of factors that kind of go into this. So firstly, tune-up races, what they are is, let's say you have a big race in 5 weeks time. Usually between 4 and 6 weeks you will pick a race, and it's usually a race about a half, maybe slightly less than the distance you're going to be racing, and you will go to that race and you will practice everything. It is essentially your dress rehearsal for the race. So you really need to take this seriously, and you need to make sure everything is perfected and you're happy with everything you are doing. So you want to practice everything that you would possibly be doing on race day. That means the night before. That means, going to bed at the time you would the night before. That means eating the meal you're going to eat the night before. That means relaxing the night before. You don't have to maybe go to an extreme to go to a hotel unless you are going to a course that is far away, but you want to get as close to the situation as you're going to be on race day. You also want to give yourself an extra day of recovery going into this race. Usually you might have 2 days between hard workouts or long runs, but today you want to have an extra day, so that will give you maybe usually about 3 or 4 days of recovery depending on the distance of the race. You want to get up at the race time, or get up when you would for your race time. So let's say you've decided that 3 hours before the race is how long your body needs to kind of wake up. So you want to get up 3 hours before this race goes. Let's say you've decided that, or let's say your race is a later race and it starts at 10 a.m. Then you'd better get up by 6 a.m. if that is your designated amount of time before, and you want to then practice your pre-race meal at exactly the distance from your race that you will be doing on race day. So that doesn't mean if you have a local race, you get up at 7 a.m., you jump in the car, you go 10 minutes, you start the race. You need to practice your pre-race meal. You need to practice getting up at the time or the distance from the race that you are going to be using on the day. That is really, really important, because you need to make sure everything sits well in your stomach, and if it doesn't, you have a little bit of time to fix it. So again, the food needs to be exactly the same. Whatever you are having on race day, you need to have that food. So let's say you get up and you're like, oh, I'm not really that hungry. Well, you can't eat a quarter of a banana and say, okay, that's all right. You might be able to get through that for a shorter distance race, but you're not going to be able to do that on race day. And what if you don't feel like eating on race day? You need to practice your pre-race meal. So you need to get to the event about as early as you would be. It might be a smaller race, so you might have more standing around time, but you might have more standing around time at the race. So you need to practice that part, getting to the race, parking, being in that race atmosphere, how you feel, handling the nerves, which, by the way, nerves, your body doesn't know the difference between nerves and excitement. So if you think you're really nervous, actually you're really excited, because your body can't tell the difference. It's how you interpret it. But either way, you want to get used to that kind of energy that can be felt at the event. So that's another thing you want to practice. You want to practice every aspect of the race itself. The clothes that you're going to be wearing, yes, even down to your underwear and socks. The shoes you're going to be wearing. You want to practice all of those. See if anything bothers you, if anything rubs or chafes or anything. You want to write down how your day went, and I'll explain that in a minute. And you want to practice your fuel during. Yes, I realize that probably during the race you might be running a little bit faster than you will be on race day, because it's a shorter distance. But if you can manage to drink or eat or whatever you're going to do on the run, on the move at that speed, you're definitely going to be confident going into your marathon or your half marathon that you can do it at that speed if you can do it at a faster speed. And it might slow you down a little bit. I remember when I used to do half marathons as my tune-up race before a marathon, I'd really struggle to get that final fueling station in around 10 miles because I was breathing so hard, but it was very good practice. It meant when I came to the marathon, I was nice and controlled because I knew I'd done it in a much harder situation. So that's really important. So the tune-up race is going to help you kind of shake the rust off. You're going to see where you're at. You're going to learn if you're on track with where you're supposed to be going, or whether you should reassess and make some changes. You're going to learn what you did right, what you did wrong. You should write down in your journal what things worked, what things didn't work, so you know on race day what to do and what not to do, and that gives you some things to work on over the final few weeks. This is also a great opportunity to try No Watch Me. If you don't know what No Watch Me is, go watch the video on it, which I will put a link to. This is the practice of not looking at your watch during the race. You can by all means wear your Garmin, wear your GPS, whatever, but you need to learn to run by feel. There's a huge buzz around it. It's really working. And if you don't believe me, you just need to read some of the comments to see the people who were just as skeptical, but they tried it and they were successful. So this is a great opportunity to practice No Watch Me without all the pressure and expectation of will it work, will it not. This is the time I believe you are going to become a believer in this practice. You also want to notice your mental side. Were there areas where you really doubted yourself? Were there things that you kept thinking to yourself over and over again? This gives you some things to focus on over the coming weeks and how to assess that, how to readdress that so that it doesn't happen on race day, because if it's happening in a shorter race, it's probably going to happen in a longer race. So pay attention to your mental strength, how you're feeling, and yeah, you're not going to be peaked at this point, so don't expect to blow it out of the water and have the best race of your life, although you may well run well. That's why I want you to use No Watch Me, because then if you do that, you might run faster than you think. But no expectations, just pay attention to the mental side, and again, write down everything you know afterwards. Now, if you don't have a race you can do, if you are racing a early fall marathon or an early fall race and the summer is kind of sparse with the race options, you might have to do a time trial. So this is a bit more difficult to negotiate, and it's a bit tougher to get the adrenaline and things together. But you want to take it as close to a race situation as you can. Okay, so you have to decide what time your race is going to be, and don't say, oh, I've got the whole of Saturday, so I think I'll put it off and oh, maybe I'll do it in about 3 hours. I don't know. Yeah, that's good. You want to literally have it a few days before. You know when it's going to be. I would encourage you to do it around or at the race time that your race is going to be at, because that is really going to get you in practice. You're going to know how that feels. You're going to know how getting up the same amount of time that you're going to use on race day. You need to do everything I just mentioned in that first few minutes. You need to do all of that. Do your shoes, do your fueling, do your when you get there. And yes, you need to get there. Even if it's just a time trial and it's just you need to do everything as if you were racing. And for the motivation part of things, to kind of build that adrenaline, what I recommend you do is that morning before this race, before you leave the house, watch some videos. Just look on YouTube or something, go online and find some videos of your event, kind of some motivational stuff, people finishing, some amazing stories that will get you buzzed up and excited and kind of bring in those adrenaline nerves and race day kind of feeling. So that will help a little bit. You're obviously not going to have it there, but you probably will be somewhat nervous. And again, you need to practice No Watch Me. This is a good time to practice. You need to make this sure that your place you're going to be running is uninterrupted, it's quiet, you have mapped out your course beforehand. This is not a run along, look, wait till your thing beeps and stop. You need to know exactly where you're going before the race, so you need to call it a race. But it's going to take some time and it's going to take some practice trying to see this as a race, but it's really going to help you feel much more confident going in, and you've controlled a lot of variables and you've got to see where you're really at. So these are the main things I would recommend for getting the most out of your tune-up day. And that includes the warm-up and cool-down. You need to also do that part as the same as you would on race day, as much as you possibly can for these tune-up races. Now, if you are using my marathon or half marathon training programs, we have given you a little trick, a little tip for getting a little extra out of your tune-up day. If you are a member of the marathon training programs, you will know what that tip is, and I would definitely encourage you to do that whether you are doing a time trial or a race. It's really, really going to help you. If you don't know what I'm talking about, well, maybe this is time for you to kind of check it out. If you want to find out more, you can find out more at tinamuir.com/training plan, and you will find links to both of the marathon and the half marathon training programs that you can use for your next race. I hope this was helpful, guys.